In a bold stride for Middle Eastern diplomacy, the European Union's foreign ministers have expressed a collective stance that unequivocally supports the establishment of a Palestinian state. This comes in the face of opposing statements by Israeli officials, underscoring the EU's firm belief that the notion of two states living side by side in harmony is not only viable but necessary for lasting regional peace. The assertion from the EU ministers is a significant one, indicative of the bloc's ongoing commitment to an international order based upon rights, rules, and cooperation. For decades, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been central to turmoil in the Middle East, with failed negotiations, military incursions, and human suffering marking its protracted history. The EU's push now signals a renewed urgency in diplomatically resolving a deadlock that has lasted longer than the Union itself. This stance by the European Union is set against a backdrop of shifting geopolitical sands. The notion of a Palestinian state has been long-standing, but has seen various degrees of international support fluctuate over time. In recent years, the feasibility of a two-state solution has been increasingly questioned, not least by figures within the Israeli government. However, the EU's support for Palestinian statehood reaffirms the original vision of the Oslo Accords and United Nations resolutions calling for a peaceful coexistence between Israel and a new Palestinian state. The EU's position is relevant not only for its political implications, but also for its potential to invigorate discussions that have been stalled, despite the considerable obstacles to achieving such a vision, ranging from questions of territorial borders, security assurances, the status of Jerusalem, and the rights of refugees. Europe's diplomatic weight could create new spaces for dialogue and negotiation. Moreover, the EU has historically been a significant economic partner and aid donor in the region, which may give its positions on the conflict substantive weight. The EU's vision for a resolution pivots on negotiations with goodwill from both sides and supportive international mediation. Their goal is to frame a peace process that entrenches democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights as bedrock principles. The international community's response to this fresh push from the EU will be telling. Would it lead to new rounds of mediated talks? Or will it be met with resistance amidst the complex web of alliances and interests in the Middle East? Moreover, the EU's stance puts the Palestinian statehood matter squarely back on the international agenda, perhaps also signaling to local leaders a need to reshape internal politics in preparation for potential real diplomatic progress. While the path to a sovereign Palestinian state remains fraught with political and logistical challenges, the EU's latest move reiterates its interest in seeing a new dynamic introduced in the region, a dynamic rooted in the belief that peace is achievable through the foundation of a just and lasting solution which recognizes the aspirations and rights of both Israelis and Palestinians. The world watches in anticipation to see whether this strategic move by the EU will indeed pave the way for renewed peace efforts, or whether the status quo will hold its ground in the face of this international call to action.